How would you like to turn this into this? Come with me and I'll show you. Hi, my name is Brooke Ward. I am an agricultural science student, and as part of being an ag science student, we are part of FFA, that is Future Farmers of America. While being under that FFA title, we were able to take on a SAE project. That is a supervised agricultural experiment, where we get to go through and take on a project under the ag science umbrella, and we get to have an experience with it. I chose to do hydroponics. I love plants. This has been a huge passion of mine, and getting the chance to do it in the classroom and receive a grade for doing the work that I love has been an extremely amazing opportunity. And I'm going to tell you about it today. This is rock wool. Since this is hydroponically grown, we don't need soil, so we use this medium instead. We break up these different pieces. Some of them you might have to cut and organize like Tetris. And then you place it in here till it's all full. These are lettuce seeds, and these are pellets. So you'll take some of your pellets, and you want 2 seeds in each plug. This ensures that at least one will have a successful growth. When you're done filling up all of your plugs, you'll take it to the sink and you'll fully submerge all of these plugs until they're all wet. At this stage, we're going to take our seeds and put them under the grow light. They're going to stay here for about 5 to 6 days, 7 days at max, until they start growing into little seedlings, and then we'll take them and put them in the towers. This stage is very important. If the seeds grow for too long, over 7 days, they'll start legging. That means the stems will grow up really tall and weak trying to reach the light, and the plant will become weaker. So when we transplant them into the next stage, that causes our growth to be behind schedule by, typically if it's overgrown for 1 to 2 days, it's behind schedule for 3 to 4. So you can use that as your general rule of thumb. At this stage, we'll take those seedlings that were under the grow light and we'll place them into each plug. For those seedlings to go from where we started to this point, it generally takes about 2.5 weeks. As these plants are growing, it's important that we check the top where the water is flowing out of to ensure that none of the algae or anything that's been going through the bottom makes its way up to the top and gets stuck. So there's a little tool that we use. It's just a little spoolie, and we'll place it up here within one of the plugs, and we'll just plop it in and pull it out. And if there's some in here, it'll just come on out. Otherwise, it's pretty good. The next important part about growing all of this lettuce is, since it's done hydroponically, we don't use soil. So all the nutrients that's in the ground or that may be in the soil, we have to supplement. So we do that by adding nutrients. So this is nutrients A and nutrients B. These have all the ingredients that a plant needs to grow. There's boron, copper, iron, potassium, anything that they may need. So we do 1 tablespoon of nutrients A. Make sure all that's out. And then we'll do the same thing for nutrients B. And then we add 2 cups of water. As you're stirring in the nutrients, it's important that you stir until it's fully dissolved. So when you transport it into the water basin, the plants don't have to work as hard to obtain that nutrients. When we pour in the nutrients, it's important that we pour them into the side of the basin where the water pump is. That way, it distributes the nutrients to both sides of the basin, and all of the plants will have enough nutrients. So since this is all done in water and we add in the nutrients, it's important that we check the water quality. This will determine how high or how low the pH is. We're gonna fill up our test tube. We wanted that just about 10, a little over, a little under. Doesn't matter too much, but you don't want it to be too low. So kind of finding that little sweet point, letting it go. So at 10 milliliters, we want 5 drops. This is going to change the color. And we'll put on the lid and kind of give it a little shake. And right over here is our pH indicator chart. And this is right at 8.5, so this is a good neutral level, which means the pH isn't too high, it's not too low, and the plants are doing just fine. Now, if this was red or even orange, we would add in some pH down. I've never had to do this. My pH has always been pretty decent. But when it comes down to putting this into it, you'll have about 1 teaspoon and you'll put it into your basin right where the water pump is. So it flows through and gets all the sides. And this will bring down your pH. Since this is hydroponics, water is a big part of it. So this water basin down here, there's a level with minimum and maximum. Right now it's about in the middle. So since it's Friday, we're gonna fill it up and make sure it's about at the maximum amount so the plants have enough water to get them through the weekend. To turn this yield of lettuce into what we have over here, this is about 2.5 weeks, and over here we're about 3.5 weeks of growth. I've already harvested this and we'll go over there in just a moment. But while we're at this point, I want to show you how you're going to harvest it. To ensure that we have no waste, or minimum waste, we'll break off the rock wool and all the roots. And at the end of the lettuce, where the stem is, it's typically bitter. So we're going to break that part off and put it in our bin for our chickens. The other piece we'll keep over in our lettuce bin, and we'll continue this process until all of our lettuce plugs are harvested. And now we're going to take our yield and take it over to the sink so it can be all washed up. Before we put the lettuce into the sink, we want to make sure everything is cleaned, all of it's washed down. Since it's food, we want to make sure everything is food grade. I've already done this process, so we're going to put the lettuce into the sink and we're going to rinse it. While we're rinsing it, we want to swish it around and flatten the lettuce until it's about half of its size. Once we're done, we're just going to shake off some of the excess water and we're going to transfer it into our bin so we can spin it. There's a hole at the bottom. We want to make sure this is over the sink since that's where our water will be draining from. And then we just stir and it spins out all the excess water. We're going to drain this until there's little water coming out or almost no water. And then we're going to take it out and we're going to take it over to the sorting station. So before we put our lettuce onto the table, since it's an ag classroom and anything can be on these tables, it's important that we sanitize. So we'll go through, sanitize our whole working space, and then we'll lay down these giant pieces of paper just to act as a barrier. Then we also cover our whole surface space with some paper towel just to absorb any excess moisture from the lettuce. And now we're gonna dump our lettuce onto our clean working station. This is only 1/4 of a harvest since I harvested more earlier. You're just gonna spread it out, and at this point is when you're gonna go through your harvest and sort it. If it's a piece that you wanna eat, then don't put it in there. Small pieces like this that have the tattered edges, the whole thing isn't bad. So you'll just rip off these little tattered pieces and we'll put them in the bin for our chickens. That way nothing goes to waste. And you'll continue that process until you went through all of your lettuce, and then you'll start packaging. Once we have some of our stuff and it's already sorted, that's when we're gonna start packaging it. And we don't want the bag too full, maybe about this much with just a little bit of air. And we're gonna take it over to be weighed. So before we weigh our lettuce, we wanna grab our food grade scale and we'll set it down, and we're gonna put a bowl on top. I found that this part works best, and you'll just hit tare. So it takes off the weight of the bowl and it's straight zeros. Then we'll put in our lettuce. You want to make sure you have it in ounces. So now that we're at 13.8 ounces, that's a pretty good size. We can take this off and we'll just zip it up about halfway. After it's sealed up about halfway, you'll kind of set it down, shimmy it just a little bit, and you'll gently press. You just want to push out some of the excess air. You don't want to flatten it down too much and wilt the lettuce. So on the edge, there's some lettuce sticking out. You'll just shut that, add a little bit more pressure, and just push out that air. Once we seal it, we have to put in the weight. So this was 13.8 ounces. Mrs. R has a label maker, and you'll just type in how much it is, and you'll print it off. At that point, we'll cut it and stick it onto the bag. So these lettuce labels were actually made in partnership from the graphic design class. They put on the information that it was hydroponically grown and done by agricultural science students. So we put these onto these bags. They look like this before the labels. And that way we're marketing what we've done before we take it to our consumer. Now that we've done the harvesting and the packaging, it's time to get into the dirty parts of the business. So, in order to make a profit, we have to go and do the math on how much money goes into the tower. We did this math by finding out the total breakdown of the seeds, nutrients, the labels, the bags, and the rock wool. The rock wool is pretty expensive, so that's our biggest fee. Once we did that math, we got $13 per tower. One tower yields around 6 pounds of lettuce. There's 16 ounces in 1 pound. That is 96 ounces per harvest. So if we were to break even, that would be 18.6 cents that we would charge per ounce. That would just be making $13. That's not enough to keep going and continuing this project. So we want to not only break even, but we want to make a profit. So to make a profit of 25%, we would be charging 21 cents per ounce. Now, right now in the world, lettuce is going from 16 cents to 22 cents per ounce. We're still kind of on the higher side, but this lettuce is grown fresh, hydroponically. There's no pesticides, herbicides, no chemicals is in this lettuce in any way. The transportation fee gets cut out since it's delivered by our students, and we just walk across the parking lot and deliver it ourselves. The math portion of this can get kind of confusing at times, but if you need help, you can talk with Mr. Willis or Miss R, and they're more than capable to walk you through and help you with this. Now that we went through the whole process, Come with me to deliver our product. I had a lot of fun doing this project, but as you can see, there's a lot of time and work that goes into running these lettuce towers. So I hope this video was helpful in preparing you to take on this project.